series of... Hi there. Thank you very much for playing The Beginner's Guide. My name is Davey Reedon. I wrote The Stanley Parable, and while that game tells a pretty absurd story, today I'm going to tell you about a series of events that happened between 2008 and 2011. We're going to look at the games made by a friend of mine named Coda. Now, these games mean a lot to me. I met Coda in early 2009 at a time when I was really struggling with some personal stuff, and his work pointed me in a very powerful direction. I found it to be a good reference point for the kinds of creative works that I wanted to make. So just to start you off, this is, I think, the first game he ever made. It's a level for Counter-Strike.
Oh, I was about to say, this is fucking Counter-Strike.
And mostly it's just Coda learning the basics of building a 3D environment. But what I like is that even though he starts from the simple aesthetic of a desert town, he then scatters these colorful abstract blobs and impossible floating crates around the level.
Jesus.
And of course, it destroys the illusion that this actually is a desert town, and instead this level becomes a kind of calling card from its creator. It's like a reminder that this video game was constructed by a real person. And it kind of makes you wonder, what was going through his head as he was building this? This is what I like about all of Coda's
Peeking
games.
C?
I mean,
Peeking C?
not that they're all
They're planting
fascinating as games, but that they are
I'm gonna flank left.
Give us access to their creator. I want us to see past
Watch
the
window
games themselves. I want to get to know who this human being really is. And that's exactly what we're going to do here. So, it's 2008, Coda starts making these games, and he never releases any of them. He doesn't put them onto the internet, he just makes them and then immediately abandons them, and they sit on his computer forever. And I think he really understood this image of himself as a recluse. At one point he jokingly
Night Rain, fucking Night Rain,
bin to
recluse,
important games folder. So, you know, this was just how he worked. He tended to crank them out one after the other without even really pausing to try to understand what he had just made, until suddenly one day, he just stopped. In 2011, that was it. He made his last game.
Are things changing, or am I like just...
And that's why I've taken this opportunity to gather all of his work together, is because I find his games powerful and interesting, and I'd like this collection to reach him, to maybe encourage him to start creating again. And if the people
what
like
is this
you who play
game?
this also happen to find his work interesting, then I'm sure it'll just send that much stronger of a message of encouragement to Coda. So thanks for joining me on this. If you have a particular interpretation that I haven't mentioned here, or if you just need to get in touch, you can email me at daveyWreden@gmail.com.
Someone email that.
Okay, that's about it for introduction.
Someone email that guy.
Coda's first proper game. As each game is loading, I'll show you the date that it was completed. This first one was made in November 2008.
Oh God, fucking Ash baby. Whisper machine. Oh my God.
Whisper machine active. Shift destruction imminent.
This game is called Escape from Whisper, and it's one of the more generic games.
This is where I find out that Spock actually like hit me with the Doki Doki game, and it's gonna start getting real freaky.
You can click to fire the gun.
Wait, why is the gun is so quiet?
Security code breached.
Do I have to shoot at something? Oh, I'm out of ammo.
It kind of looks like this game was abandoned mid-development.
Yeah.
For instance, you have this gun, which you'd think would indicate that there are supposed to be monsters or enemies somewhere, but then clearly there are no enemies anywhere. You can't even reload the gun when you run out of bullets.
True.
But ultimately, we don't really know. Maybe Coda thought that actually it was complete the way that it is. And I think that we should talk about his games for what they are, rather than for what they're not.
Enemy force neutralized. Beginning.
I love how you can see the bottom of the universe from this room.
This guy's kind of giving me a little bit of a parasocial vibe. I don't think your friend Coda wanted you to deep dive this far into his life. Like he's actually recording this audio like outside of his friend Coda's window.
Sure, I don't know. There's really no reason for it that I've ever been able to discern, so in the interest of time, I'm just gonna skip you on past it.
Oh. Okay, nice.
Okay, this is the part that's interesting. The game has this narrative about the whisper machine and how it has to be turned off, and then you get to the engine room.
Hey, you there, in the engine room. You could save us all. That beam is powering the whisper machine. We could disrupt it by introducing a great enough heat signature. If your body could stop the beam. It's so much to ask, but for all of our lives, would you do it? Could you give...
Did she say it's not much to ask? So, like, yeah, okay. Get me out of this game.
Let me pause here for a second. What you just experienced, stepping into the beam and then dying, is probably
also
what
giving me
Coda
Bennett
had initially
Foddy.
intended when he was developing this level. But when he first compiles and plays it, something goes wrong. There's a bug somewhere. And this is what happens instead.
Oh.
The beam causes you to start floating. And this is an important moment for him. Because yes, this is technically a glitch, but Coda identifies something human about it, like how small it makes you feel in the face of this larger chaotic system. Or this floating could be the afterlife, a peaceful place, juxtaposed against all of the hysteria that you've just had to traverse. I don't even know. I have no idea what he was thinking, but what's clear is that after making this, something lodges itself in his brain. He wants to do more of these really weird and experimental designs. So he stops work on this and moves on to a stream of tiny little games that go in all sorts of directions. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first game he made after leaving this one behind.
I'm telling you, like, Spock is hitting me with the fucking, like...
Yep, in this game you can only walk backwards.
This is horror game, dude. This is horror fucking game. Oh.
So it's a short and relatively minimalist experiment combining motion and narrative. It is less advanced than the previous game, but actually it seems to be more focused, more complete. Coda's trying to give it a unique voice rather than simply basing it on a pre-existing trope.
At the Taco Bell drive-thru right now, yay! Wait, this is the cover art. Spicy potato soft taco.
It's a short little thought. It says what it wants to say, and then it ends. Didn't need anything more than that. Which to me is why it works, because it gets out quick. Okay, next one.
I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, FNAF jump scare. You are now entering.
And that's it. Okay, the meaning of this game won't be clear just yet. Please be patient with me for a few more games, and I promise you'll see what makes it interesting. Oftentimes, Coda would put bizarre titles like this one at the start of his games.
Oh, wow.
I wish I'd known him at the time that he was making these early games. He would really only talk to me about his work as he was making it. Once he stopped work on a game, like, that was it. It was dead to him. And I don't agree with that at all, but what are you gonna do?
I'm getting really tired. These stairs are starting to weigh on me.
Once you've been slowed to an absolute crawl, the door at the top of the stairs opens. So why, if Coda's not showing these games to anyone, why bother opening the door at all? Well, to show you, I'm modifying the game here so that when you press enter, it'll bring you back up to full speed so you can enter the door for yourself.
When I press enter. Oh. What the hell is going on right now?
A room that's warm and nice and filled with little ideas for games. Coda would often tell me that he didn't mind if people thought of him as cold or distant. He said that he knew that he was actually a vibrant and compassionate person, but that it takes time to really see that. It can be a very slow climb to get there.
You know, actually, I'm starting to get this this feeling that I don't know, Chonk is getting replaced a little bit. New fat bellies in town. New fat bellies in town. Okay, all right. I guess big fat belly's not hitting the same anymore. We got to get new fat belly. Wait, but like combined though, it's like me and my homie at after the buffet or some shit like that. Roblox ass games. I mean,
well, this is new for Coda. It's an actual puzzle. Go ahead and see if you can solve it.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you right now. Oh, I think I get it.
Don't forget that solution, because we're going to see this puzzle again soon. We're going to see it a lot.
Is it really possible for a chonk boy and a belly girl to be in a relationship? I think so. I think that might be possible.
So that seems to be it, right? You walk down a corridor, you solve a puzzle, you get to the end. Simple enough. All right, now I'm going to modify the game again so that when you press enter, it'll remove all of the walls from this room.
Oh. What the fuck?
How about that? There was more to it than we had any way of knowing. I actually find it funny that this game comes after the Stairs game, since they essentially convey the opposite idea. So, in the Stairs game, a dull exterior concealed a rich interior. And then, in this level, a dull interior hides this fantastic outer world.
Outer
worlds! The point is the same. Is that most of the time...
assign chat, chonk boy or belly girl. Alright, alright.
Your role as a player. So
go ahead and at me if you want to know which one you are.
Then what is it?
Why are we back here? Spock, you're banned for life if I get jump scared.
Aha. So, this, combined with the entering game from earlier, tells us that Coda believes his games are connected somehow.
All right, Max, you are belly girl.
Really connected in between this
chonk boy.
There's a bigger
Spock?
picture that all of his games are meant to play a role in.
Chonk
some
boy.
Larger meaning that we won't be able to grasp until we've seen all of them. And once we have, we can step back and start to understand what exactly that bigger picture is.
Okay, we're in 2009 now. This is the Clash of Belles. We're gonna have like big fat sumo wrestler fight.
Let's talk about video game development for a second. Every video game runs on what's called an engine, which determines what the game can and cannot do. So in other words, the engine is a set of tools for game development.
Okay, nice.
To make all of these games, Coda is using an engine called Source. Like all engines, Source has certain things that it does well, and it has certain things that it does poorly. One of the things that it does very well is boxy linear corridors. That's why so many of Coda's games are set in these large, flat, empty rooms, is just because he's working with what the engine does well.
I know a
The tools available to the creator shape what kinds of creative work
Yeah, but like,
making.
you know you're not gonna get like a good coffee unless it's like blue hair and pronouns barista.
Good at producing linear, boxy
If you got like straight white guy behind the counter, you're cooked. Wait, platformer? Spock? You might be onto something. I love me a platformer. I sure hope Melee's clash soon. What if he has a bun? I think the bun might be the saving grace. He has to have a lot of accessories though. He needs to look like he wants to be Johnny Depp. Oh my goodness. Oh, I could have just fallen all the way down. Served by bisexual, yeah. Telling you, Spock. Telling you right now. I'm telling you right now, Spock.
This prison, funny enough, in Coda's original design, the doors stayed shut for a full hour before letting you go. If you don't mind, I think we're gonna skip that. This is something that he and I used to argue about a lot. You know, whether a game ought to actually be playable, whether it means anything if no one can get through it. And I would always defend that, you know, all this work goes into the game, why not make it playable and accessible? And so we just got into heated arguments over it, and there was one time that after one of these conversations, he went home, and a day or two later, he sent me a zip file entitled
Bro got zip bombed.
That was full of hundreds of individual games, each of which was just an empty box that you walked around in and nothing else. Believe me, I played every single one of those just to find out if there was like a gag hidden somewhere. There wasn't.
You know, it may be good that Coda never put any games out, because it sounds like he makes shitty ass games, and he like thinks that's a good idea.
With the exact same solution as the last time.
You know, I think the industry may have like been saved by his decision not to release these.
That Coda is going to return to it over and over. But I promise I'll share with you my interpretation very shortly.
I'm getting that Stanley Parable vibe where I know I'm alone. You there? Did you come from a...
begins using a kind of dialogue system that he fashioned out of the engine's chat capabilities. Use the 1, 2, 3 buttons on your keyboard to respond.
Okay. I'm glad that he used like 12-point orange Comic Sans. Welcome back, Iman. We finished Spyro a lot earlier than expected, so we decided to knock the game off from the wheel. That's pretty short. This is from what I understand, Stanley Parable, but like not funny. It's got a little bit. It's a little bit more of a
And so we make one last descent down to the final floor.
listen and learn type game. And no Fortnite, sigh. I'm gonna be forced to play Fortnite when Zayla puts a gun to my head and says you're playing it.
It's a lamppost.
Sure is.
Okay, I can't tell you quite why, but for some reason, Coda fixates on this lamppost. It's going to appear at the end of every single one of his games from here on out. I'll tell you what I think. I think that up to this point, you know, he's been making really strange and abstract games with no clear purpose, and maybe you can only float around in that headspace for so long. Because now he wants something to hold on to. He wants a reference point. He wants the work to be leading to something. He wants a destination, which is what this lamppost is. It's a destination. We're going to see it in the work as well. His games are just going to become a lot more cohesive, a lot more fully developed, with more of a clear idea.
Can't even play Fortnite, SMH.
And as we go, that idea will get clearer and clearer and clearer.
But then he's serious this game. Yeah. +2 max. I don't know why, because I thought being such an old game that Stanley Parable wouldn't like be relevant really on YouTube. I mean, I still upload all my VODs the same, right? But it's been popping off a little bit, at least in like respect of my numbers and everything. No, I got you, Spock. I mean, I'm sure there's like a cracked yoke every now and again. Okay.
So first off, I'm sure you can deduce this, but this game is not connected to the internet. All of the notes that you're going to see have been written by Coda. This was actually the first game of his that I ever played. This was shortly after
That's
I met
true.
him.
Yeah, I was flexing my views for sure.
Sacramento, where I grew up. I saw him working on this very level, and it was just so different from anything that anyone else was doing. So right away I was like, I have to be friends with this person. In retrospect, I think I was probably a bit too pushy, trying to get his attention. I was over-enthusiastic. But he was very gracious about it and very patient with me. And I cooled off eventually. Oh, feel free to skip over any of these notes if they're not doing anything for you. Nothing extra is going to happen if you read all of them. Either way, to me they convey a sense of loneliness. I see this person who's filled with thoughts and feelings and beliefs and has no way to express them except as scattered and unheard voices in a game that wasn't meant to be played.
You're not even reading the notes. Oh, sorry. Boring. Okay, fantastic first note to read.
And seeing how alone Coda often felt, that we get to know him better and actually kind of connect with him. And I have to be honest with you, this idea is really seductive to me. That I could just play someone's game and
What
see the
ass
voices
butt.
in their head
Nice.
and get to know them better and have to do less of the messy.
I need to go to the freaking
socializing.
bathroom.
I could just get to know
Recognize
you
me,
through your work.
please. Bro, you're not getting recognized with this
I think
bum-ass
is why
game.
I always liked Coda's games so
There's
much.
nothing here. Go
Is
back.
because it felt
Don't
like
listen
they
to that
really
guy.
had that connection. I felt as though he was inviting me personally.
A
into
free
his world.
t-shirt.
And then I feel less lonely too.
Lights is on my lap, guys. Oh, wow. Stop, turn back. Proceeding further will only result in misery.
Pissing all by yourself, handsome?
Well, not me. That's what the note said, but, you know, eventually I will have to. Exactly 69 views. Yeah, and if it gets a single view more, I'm gonna lose it. I'm gonna freaking lose it. Yeah, that Shadow of the Colossus short was really funny because, like, I don't know if it was the thumbnail that did it, like, because it picked a really funny thumbnail, like, for the auto generator, or if it was just like what the deal was, but that was good. It's the clip where I'm like literally 20 minutes into Shadow of the Colossus and I find a thread in the game, like a clip in the environment, and I fall through the map.
At the end of this level, we're going to see the puzzle again. And here, I'll tell you what I think the puzzle means. Each of these games represents an idea that
Gotta
was
send me
on
something
Coda's
funny from the
mind
mall.
at the time that he was making it. And the puzzle is a way of closing the door on a previous chapter of his life before moving on to the next one. In each of his games,
I couldn't even replicate it, Iman. I went back and tried at some point, and I couldn't hit the jump in the particular way that I did.
Understands exactly how it works.
Is there Yes.
And so it gives him a simple mechanism.
I hate. Wait.
For moving on. And because there's this dark area.
Oh, it's at the
between
top of the
doors,
screen for some
space
reason.
Between spaces. Before you move on, you get to pause. Just for a moment. A few seconds to reflect on and let go of the events that led you here. To step back and connect the pieces together. To grasp at that elusive bigger picture.
Oh, it's a typewriter. I'm like, what the fuck is that noise? What is it, my microphone? Oh. Oh. Pornstars Die 2.
It's gonna kind of just spin its own wheels for a few minutes. Hang with it.
Hi, Val. Hi. Oh. Oh, sorry. I guess we're not saying hi to me. The fuck?
See, like, this is it. The whole game. And there's nothing that's particularly interesting about it. You just walk to the end of a hallway. Except, for some reason, Coda gets really fixated on this prison that has all of this modern furniture. And I don't know why, but he decides he needs to revisit this prison. He's gonna start over, use the same assets, turn it into something else. Okay, cool. Here's version 2.
Okay. Alright. Okay, alright. Can I walk through? Nope. Nope, nope. Oh, how about a TV? That's not a TV. That's not what I asked for. That's not what I asked for. I'm asking for stoves aligned across the wall. Yeah, give me a Tesla coil. That's a lamp. It's not a Tesla coil. Pretty sure none of my tricks are making any difference. Okay.
There's a bit more to this one, but still, it's not really communicating anything. It's kind of just weird for weirdness' sake.
I wonder if this guy ever stopped and considered that maybe...
Okay, he throws it out and starts over. This time he comes at the prison idea from a different direction.
Stopped and considered that maybe, Jesus Christ. This guy just wanted to play in Source Engine and didn't actually want to, like, do anything. I don't know if I was actually supposed to do that. Okay. That's it. In a real prison, the escape will now open. Return to the start and take back.
And of course, now the table is gone and you can't begin the chain of events to escape. Here's a version where there are no bars, but you can't actually get to the well. And then a version where the inside of the prison is the outside and the outside is the inside. Let me just blink you real quick through a few more of these. I mean, he really unloaded on this prison idea. There's nearly a dozen of them. Personally, I think it's awful to watch this, to see a person basically unraveling through their work. And for what? Like, at what point do you just go, maybe there are game ideas other than this prison that I could be working on? But Coda doesn't have that voice telling you to stop, that particular mechanism of defense against yourself. Without it, you just spiral. And so he keeps going and going and going and going and going, and then he hits on something. And he likes it. And that's it. He's done. He stops making prisons. This is the very last version of the prison game that he created. And the reason I think it works is that the prison is not actually in it.
Okay. Let me look at this before we carry on, Iman. No. Wait, Iman, but you bought that though, right? Wait, Iman, you purchased that product though, right? You were jumping for joy to spend your money on that? Hell no! Hell no! What's going on, Cactura? If anyone's curious, it was a copy of a used copy of Knack at GameStop. It was like $10, which I think is generous for Knack. At least Knack 1. Knack 2, baby! Knack 2, baby! Spock, you're banned for life. I mean that. Oh.
It's a conversation. And so this is what Coda wants, is to be able to talk to someone, to share what's on his mind, and to get some good advice from someone who knows. But the irony is that even in this scenario, you're still talking to yourself. You know, all of these games so far are Coda talking to himself.
It was so bad they made a second one? No. You don't make, like, you don't step into a kitchen the first time and make, like a beef Wellington. You know, you start with, like, what you know. You know, they made a like a cheeseburger, right? And, like, they're like, yeah, okay, that was, like, an alright cheeseburger. Nothing special, nothing great. But then the next time they stepped in the kitchen, like, alright, I've made the cheeseburger. Now I can make the turkey dinner. And so they cooked up the whole ass meal for the family. Yeah, it wasn't a dog shit franchise, exactly. See, this is where I find out this is like more
I can
not
see why he
linear.
considers this a fitting conclusion to the prison games. After all of the obsession and frustration, just to be told by someone you can trust that things are going to be okay. Wouldn't that be nice? So what would it look like if Coda wanted to make a game about talking to someone other than himself?
Okay, this looks like an actual
To me,
game.
this environment is meant to represent Coda's puzzle.
Don't
with
overthink
the two
it, dude.
doors on either side and a dark transitional space between.
Okay, actually, maybe I see the resemblance. Okay. Let you... I'm glad as all heck that you showed up. Thought I might be having to clean this entire house all by myself and right miserable that would have been. Everyone knows.
The quality of the art is a step up from previous games, including this new and improved chat system, which he started using from this point on. From here on out, he begins putting much more effort into the visual polish of his work, and this particular game took 2 months to create as a result.
Go talk to the naked man. Cactura, I don't know. This is like a first playthrough. This is a game called The Beginner's Guide. It's I think Spock gave me a seal of approval to say it's like kind of Stanley Parable like, but like not as comedically toned. Yeah, it was a game on the wheel. We finished Spyro earlier. We beat Ripto's Rage. And I just figured, instead of just playing random bullshit game or like starting Year of the Dragon for a couple hours, we could maybe do something else. Chat wanted me to end stream, but that's just who I know who the fake motherfuckers are. I don't like that the naked guy wants me to run in the bedroom. Hi, Skia. Who? I think it was I think Charlie was doing a silly in BC. So probably everyone in BC. Yeah, I felt chat voted to end it twice. I did, guys. Do you want to do a revote? And then they're like, yeah, let's do a revote. And then more evil motherfuckers came out. Straighten these pillows here. Oh, that's society straightening my pillows. Where's the mop? Oh, clean the spill. I feel compelled to share an incredibly cheesy personal insight. You okay with that? Okay, like, are you the personal cleaner or am I the personal cleaner? When are you going to start doing your job, man? I can see this music, like, getting me copyrighted. But it is a vibe. Oh my god.
After the intense set of prison games, this house cleaning level almost feels like cleansing. It's the moment after a particularly difficult or traumatic experience where you just need to let it sit and digest inside of you, and eventually cohere into something meaningful.
Don't darling me.
I know that Coda really liked this game. Of all of his work, actually, this was the only one that he called me up to ask me to come over and look at it. This was during a period of a few months where he was like grossly happy all the time, just walked around with a constant smile on his face.
Yeah, I was going to say that it occurs to me. One's house is a lot like one's soul. You take care of it, and it takes care of you. Don't know why I felt so weird about saying that. This guy's being weird. This guy's being really weird.
I'm glad he made this. I'm glad he found some peace. But, of course, it can't last. The music stops, your companion is gone, it's time to leave. The door
Thank
at
God.
the top of the hill is now open as well. Again, you can't stay in the dark space for too long. You just can't. You have to keep moving. It's how you stay alive.
I'm really trying to bite, right? I'm really trying to bite, and I'm really trying to see the meaning, and I'm trying to have an open heart to the analogies and the kind of taking emotion into daily tasks. And I will continue to keep trying.
Which is the whole point of the puzzle doors, right? That sooner or later you have to pick up and move. I really thought that was the point of it.
I almost forgot this was the whole point.
This one gets a bit goofy.
Oh. This is gonna be like Animal Well. What do you mean, Bree? I liked Animal Well. I liked it. What do you mean by that? Are you gonna talk about, like, are you mean like when people came in and like tried to gaslight that it was like I was having a bad time and it was terrible and so on and so forth? I was not. I was not. This is gaslighting. I'm being gaslit. That was everybody else.
About halfway through the game, the perspective shifts.
I think I like this Jungus ass game. What the hell?
And you play as the teacher. And suddenly, you discover that your teacher is just as bigoted and afraid as you are. Oh, and also you can move around the classroom now.
Oh. There's something wrong with you, Iman. All of the animal well hate was coming from chat. I was all for it the entire time. Pull the VOD. It's on YouTube. Pull the VOD. Bruh. Free. Run the VOD. Run the VOD. Run the fucking VOD. Free confusing animal well with Skia's Night Rain review.
I felt pretty hard for this one. I feel like it's one of the most relatable experiences that you can have. To assume that some other person is perfect and totally fulfilled in every way, and completely miss all of the little flaws that make them painfully human. I think about this game a lot.
Iman, you did not check the VOD.
This one took a lot longer than all the others.
Whoops.
It was 4 months between this and the last one. That's twice as long as it took him to make any other game before this, and it's not like it's particularly complex, so I remember I found that a little strange at the time.
I'm mostly staying silent, but I'm really excited to discuss this with you after you beat it. Okay. Tell me when. You guys are class A gaslighters. Everyone's like, oh, Lucor's hating it. He's hating it. Oh, like he's having such a bad time. The whole time I'm like, oh, wow, this is really pretty and cool. And this is like, I really like this kind of like artistic style. And like, I like Metroidvanias for the most part, you know? And everyone's like, he hates it. He fucking hates it. Oh, look at him. He hates it. I'm Barry Allen. Never said that once. Okay. All right. Okay. Oh my god. Highlights. Fuck this. I'm leaving. Bonk. What? Oh, I just read the woman across the room. You're letting your animal brain make decisions. Be bigger than that. You have an actual conversation. I'm not believing that this is a real person. That made these like little tiny games. I think this is like whoever the narrator is made all these stupid little games. Made all these games, and they're trying to like use this narrative that this like person with social disconnects and general social issues made all these like super moving and particularly motivating pieces that you can divulge some like intricate pieces of how their mind works out of. But I'm not biting. This game is someone's Shadow of the Colossus. And I'm really, and that's not to make any commentary on the quality, right? It's just I'm not believing the narrative. I'm not believing what the narrator is telling me. You guys know the creepy pasta, the theater? This kind of reminds me of that a little bit.
The game ends with this eerie premonition of what's going to happen next in Coda's life. The solution to social anxiety, to fears of having to perform and having to chase success, the answer for Coda is to withdraw, to hide himself away. Which is what leads to scenarios like the stairs that slowed you down several games ago, where it just becomes harder and harder to access Coda's inner landscape because he keeps retreating. He just keeps backing away from possible connections to anyone other than himself. And to be honest, I didn't consider it very healthy when I first played this game. You know, it looked to me like he was trying to justify the idea of just disconnecting yourself from the world. And that wasn't what I wanted for him or for his games. Because I feel like a lot of his games are
Have you ever heard of the creepy pasta? The man who looked normal but was actually really scary.
But what can you do?
That sounds terrifying,
After this,
Iman.
Coda went off and took another 5 months to make a new game.
What? Mobius trip to make Mobius Unleashed. To play this game properly, you must keep your eyes closed. Click to begin the game. Oh.
You should probably open your eyes if you haven't already. It's pretty much impossible to solve otherwise. And there is a solution, by the way.
Okay, so I actually have to... What's going on? Oh, I didn't even see this door. With my eyes open, I didn't even see this door. What? What if Outer Wilds but door? Outer door. Okay. Either there's no true answer to this or I somehow successfully hit the wrong one. Wow. I had a 33% chance to hit the right one, and I hit both wrong.
Like I said, I was getting concerned. First off, he's never been this explicit in his work about exactly what he's thinking. So where's that coming from? But then even weirder, his work has potentially stopped being an outlet for him. Not like he's having trouble iterating on ideas, but he literally just can't think of new ideas anymore. And in person, he was being a lot more distant than usual. Like, you know how sometimes a person will just deflect anything that you say in order to keep themselves disconnected all the time? It was that kind of thing. Here was the point in my relationship with Coda where I really started to wonder if he needed my help in some way. His games are going to get more desperate from here on out. After this game, it's almost 6 months before he finishes something new.
Cast fire flames to liquid cold circle. I liked it more than one. I feel like they kind of refined the game a little bit more from 1 to 2. And the final boss was kind of epic. Oh, icicles. I think my brain filled in the blanks with the letters I saw. Yeah, I think they did a lot more with it than they did in 1. And you know, I'm happy that I got to play it finally because I never knew anything about it. But I am reading this, by the way. I'm just not reading it out loud. I think I'm happy that it went well because and that's not to say 1 was bad, right? I just think 1 kind of was like missing some of that what I remembered as a kid playing 3. So I would say if like 10 is gas fire flames and 1 is liquid cold circles, I would say it was a solid 7.5.
This game featured Coda talking explicitly about his creative frustrations. This one turns it up to 11. Now, put yourself in my shoes playing this. Here's a friend whose work is exhibiting signs of struggle, frustration, anxiety, depression, even. And yet, still, he keeps making games. He keeps throwing himself into the grinder even when he clearly doesn't have the energy for it anymore. Why? What is it for? Because from my perspective at the time and just what I knew of him, this was a result of how isolated he was. He was in his own little bubble, just sitting at his computer all day, not really showing these games to anyone, not releasing them onto the internet, and so he didn't have anyone outside of himself to connect with. He had no outlet to ground himself on. You can't talk yourself out of loneliness. It doesn't work that way. You can't be the one writing both the questions and the answers. Then there's no movement. Then there's no circulation. If all of your anxieties are being channeled into your work, then if the work ever fails, you have no backup and you're just going to crash. Seeing this game at the time that he made it, it looked really unhealthy to me. I was watching him do this to himself, and I hated it. I hated seeing him so trapped. It's like, video games are not worth this amount of suffering. This is someone I really cared about, and I used to get so much joy out of seeing him create. For him to suddenly become angry and frustrated like this, it was the worst thing for me. I don't know. This is what I felt at the time. I don't know how else to explain it. I wanted it to stop more than anything. I had never felt so rotten. I needed more than I had ever needed anything for this to stop. But it didn't stop. After finishing this one, Coda takes another 7 months and comes up with a new game.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And of course, it's the machine.
I feel like I have, Iman. Or I haven't seen it, but I feel like I've heard of it. Is this what this is from? I have seen the meme of the dancing guy, a whole bunch, but I didn't know that this was the name of the show. Yeah, okay. I'll have to look it up because I do like the animation and art style. Don't do it again. Oh. What the fuck?
Remember, you can click to fire the gun.
Yeah, break down the walls of Jericho.
So now the work is becoming self-destructive. And I'll tell you, at the time that I first played this game, shortly after he made it, here's what I'm thinking to myself. I'm thinking that Code is stuck in his own head, and that it's having a very negative effect on him, and that all he needs to do is just start showing his work to people, to get some actual feedback on his games. It might get him out of isolation.
Oh.
And so, as I'm thinking this, I realize that I could be the one to initiate it. Because it would never occur to Coda to start actively soliciting feedback, so what if I did it for him? If he could see the difference it would make to have more actual conversations with other human beings, would that bring him out of his mental spiral? Would it give him confidence in himself? Would it bring meaning back into his work?
I mean, this is definitely pushing the narrative that I had in my mind that this is not as I don't know. I understand the commentary, right? The commentary is not being lost on me, and a couple things that have been said have been impactful for sure. But it's
So I started showing Coda's work to people. I took this one, and the islands which you just played, the theater, the notes, the house cleaning game, and some of the prison escape games. I brought them to people that I knew and trusted. I asked their opinions. And the great part is that they really loved his games. You know,
How?
the point of it all was just to give him some external reference point, but they genuinely loved his work. There was nothing for him to be afraid of.
I don't have a weapon anymore. Oh. Now I do.
Can you see why I felt like this was the right thing to do? Because it's the thing that I always feel like
Apparently E is also
that my
shoot.
work is good. That I am good. When someone really connects with a thing that I've made, when they see themselves purely in my work, there's nothing that feels better. And I got to give that very same feeling to my friend. I did something. I really felt like I'd done something good. Like I was a good person. I felt like there was a friend who was in trouble and was unhappy and maybe didn't like themselves, and I could fix it. If I could give him this gift, maybe I could fix the problem. When they told me how much they enjoyed his games, it was the best feeling. It was the absolute best feeling. It made me feel so happy. So beautifully, beautifully happy.
Spock, I mean it.
So anyway, Coda finishes this game, and then really he just kind of takes off for a while. So this is June of 2011, and I didn't hear anything from him for several weeks, I guess. And so out of nowhere, one day I get an email, and it's got a private link to a new game of Coda's. This one is called The Tower, and to my knowledge, it's the last game that Coda ever made. So let's take a look.
Yeah, this is. I'm waiting for like the Doki twist, right? I mean it. I mean it with all my heart.
And this is where I have trouble saying anything meaningful about Coda's work. Because more than anything else, the tower just feels distant. It feels like it's trying to distance itself from the world. It's a very cold game. This room actually has a maze in it. Except that all the walls of the maze are invisible. And then every time you touch one of the walls, there's this awful flashing and noise, so the experience is really miserable. The game goes beyond not being meant to be played, it actually seems to despise the player for trying to play it at all. But I do want to show you the rest of the levels, so when you're ready to continue, press enter and I'll put a bridge over the maze.
Yeah, like Flash, like fucking, oh, the horror game, The Tower? Shit. I'm telling you, mods, you get that gun ready.
And to be fair, it's not like this is the first game that's needed some modification to be playable. Like the house cleaning game. You know, that one used to actually loop the cleaning chores and you just cleaned a house forever. I had to cut it off so that you could exit the house and the game would actually end. But that game had an idea that it was actually trying to communicate. What's the deeper idea?
Yes, slots!
The only way past this challenge is to randomly guess the 6-digit code. Like the invisible maze, it's frustrating to me, because it's the opposite of everything else that Coda
No,
has.
you're good. I keep saying that if this game jump scares me, we're killing Spock.
It doesn't ask anything of me, except a lot of my time. If I could have reached him during this time, then maybe I could have asked him, but I couldn't. I still don't really understand why this is here. I'll put the code on the ground for you here, though, so that we can move on.
1, 5, 1, 6, 1, 7. Yeah, I just like, you know, I was kind of joking about it in the Stanley Parable. I know that game's not like a horror game or anything, but it's always got this eerie vibe to it. And this one, obviously, as you can see, kind of exudes that the same. And so I said from the beginning, I'm like, if Spock hits me with the Doki Doki game, he's banned forever.
This door is actually on the other side of the door, meaning that it's literally impossible to solve from this side. So even if you somehow brute forced your way through the first 2 challenges and you got to this point, there's actually just no way to progress. And it's scary for me, the idea of Coda cutting himself off entirely, just saying, you know, that's it, that's the end of the conversation, not giving me any way to fix the problem. I feel like a failure, I guess, when I can't fix the problem. But I can open this door for you, so let me do that.
This guy's a bad friend. He's kind of making it about himself.
Was I a failure for not understanding this game?
This ain't about you, little bro.
It's not like everything needs to have a solution, but I feel it somehow. I feel like I failed, and I don't understand why. I remember, it's June of 2011. I'm playing this for the very first time, and as I'm playing, I'm thinking to myself, I don't know this person. I have no idea who this person is. It wasn't the guy I knew, it wasn't my friend. I had come to so many conclusions from looking at all of his work up to this point, and then suddenly none of them... I had been trying to, though. That was the thing. For years I was trying to get to know him, to understand who he actually was and what he stood for. I asked him so many times to please just tell me what his games mean to him. I asked him please to tell me what the 3 dots mean. And he wouldn't.
Oh, nice. I mean, I think that's like the thing, right? Is like the idea is that this person, this Coda character is like using game art as like a expressive tool for his social issues and mental issues and everything.
Someone other than me. But he stopped and left, and it felt somehow like I had failed.
Wait. Oh, all right. Yeah, bad game. Not even letting me jump through the hole. Okay. Yeah, this guy sucks ass. To me, it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I'm not a very expressive person, and I can accept that, right? But stuff like this is just so on the nose for me that it almost feels unbelievable. You know, like there's no way that like this person is just so blatant about it. And I do feel like the narrator's stretching a bit. You know, I feel like they're trying so hard to find meaning in something that might just be meaningless that it almost loses it entirely. But thank you for your interest in my games. I need to ask you not to speak to me anymore.
I am the reason that you stopped making games, aren't I? It's because of what I did. I poisoned it for you.
Yeah, you fucked up, Davey.
I don't think I ever told you this, but when I took your work and I was showing it to people, it actually felt... it felt as though I were responsible for something important and valuable.
The fuck was that? Yeah, and this friend character also is just like trying to be savior. You know, we joked about it earlier in Shirley's stream about like the savior complex, right? It's like just trying so desperately to solve someone's problems or hear their problems to like give them solutions because you want to be the solution, right? And this guy, the narrator, absolutely had like a savior complex towards this guy's work because he was like creating this meaning out of it. That maybe wasn't there, and maybe it wasn't meant for everybody to see, and maybe it was a way of this person, you know, to revert back to, or to go back to the on the nose part of it. What like they were trying to be communicative with this person in this special way because it was the easiest way for them to communicate to them. But then when they had this complex of like saving them, and showed it to the world, it like maybe like ruined that trust and that like that relationship because that thing that was sacred and special and individual to them was now like shown to the world because this guy thought he wanted to be some big game developer.
And the people who played them, they treated me like I was important. They really listened and cared about what I had to say. Even though I was showing your work, I felt good about myself. Finally, for a moment, while I had that, I liked myself.
You've so infected my personal space that it's possible I did begin to plant solutions in my work somewhere hidden between games. Okay, so this guy caught on. This guy caught on to his saviorness, where he was like, oh, like, wow, like he needs me to like fix this for him, like, and so he's like, I don't need you to fucking fix this for me, dude. And so he like created these like artificial solutions so that this guy got this like dopamine that he was doing a good thing. All right, let me read this before I move on. Tell me being dramatic, I probably am, but there's this streamer friend I have, often talk to him, and he has these 2 viewers I really dislike, okay? But I don't make a big deal about it because I don't want to cause drama right now. But the streamer friend made plans with me to play this horror game with me. Everyone's like, oh shit, was that me? Oh no. Oh, what did I do? You can say it's Iman Bubi, it's okay. And he's streaming right now. And we were about to play the game, and then these 2 viewers decided they want to join in too. Okay. I'll let the rest of the story transpire while I continue on with this. There was an answer and meaning. Would it make you any happier? Would you stop taking my games and showing them people against my wishes, giving them something that is not yours to give, violating the one boundary that keeps me safe? Would you stop changing my game? Stop adding This guy's a piece of shit. I fucking knew, and I know, like, everyone's like, I knew I had a bad feeling about that, right? Saying it earlier in this playthrough, this guy is pushing so hard to find meaning in it that it almost feels like fabricated.
And then you stopped, and I didn't have anything left to show people. I just had to be with myself. And as soon as that happened, there was no feeling at all. Nothing. Less than nothing. What does that mean?
Oh shit, I am physically ill. The worst she can say is no. You desperately need something, and I cannot give it to you. I literally do not have it. Struggling to come up with new ideas is not making me depressed. Low points are just a part of the process. The fact that you think the fact that you think I am frustrated or broken says more about you than about me. Be honest, beginner's guide fans. Come on. I know a rat in the well when I see one. And I was like, I'm not gonna play if they play. And then, well, technically, the one annoying viewer decided to play. But once I said that, then the other viewer also decided to play. Dave's a fucking asshole. So I'm like, okay, whatever, I'm leaving. And then one of the viewers called me okay, well, that's just unnecessary and uncalled for. Like, the thing is, I don't mind playing with other viewers, but I went into this with the intent that only me and a friend will be playing because he asked me. And if anyone else wants to play, that's fine, but not those two. They're so annoying. Well, I think your friend is at fault more than anything, because at least in the context that if it was previously discussed before the stream that you guys would be playing this exclusively, then yeah, they're an asshole for kind of breaking that agreement. If that wasn't it and you expressed that you didn't want to play with them, then I feel like it's still on them to, like, again, if you guys priorly in a prior conversation discussed playing this together, I feel like it's on them to kind of like side with you at that point. If like, oh no, like I was intending to play with this person. If they don't want to play with you, then they should not. I mean, them calling you a bitch is just like, that's yeah. That's just uncalled for. Like when the English teacher forces you to find meaning in every part of the book. Exactly, Bree. Exactly. And I think maybe that's where my like exhaustion comes from, is that I hated that in school. And I know it's a meme, right? It's like, it's a meme of like, oh, like, what do you think the green light and the great Gatsby, the great Gatsby means? Jesus Christ. And I couldn't spit it out. Yeah, Gatsby, I got you. Yeah. It's so tiring because, like, I think it's such an exhausting mindset to constantly be in this state of finding meaning in something when, like, there's just so much surface level to the world that you really don't need to dig. And then once you start digging, and this is why I don't ever really get invested in, like, fandoms, because I feel like fandoms is just grounds of, like, digging until you make shit up in your own head, you know? Like, I like, oh, well, when Pomni and the Great Digital Circus said hi, like, their tone fluctuated. Like, what do you think that meant? Like, what do you think they really meant by that hi? Like, I think it probably roots back to their childhood when they were in, like, 1906 and they were eating bread off the ground, fighting rats for. I think it probably had something to do with that. It's like, it's stupid. It's really stupid and exhausting and pretentious because you thanks, Gatsby. you genuinely think that you can, like, dig this deeper meaning that never existed into reality just because you think of yourself as, like, more pseudo-intellectual than anyone else, you know? And that's not to say trying to find meaning in things is inherently bad. I think it just needs to be done with moderation, because if you go crazy with it, you end up like Davey here. And he said he wants to post the game with me. And those kind of push themselves into the gameplay. And the thing is, I feel like I could be the problem because they're like, what do they call it? And I don't say this in a devaluing way, Buby, by any stretch, but, like, I think it also, God, I'm gonna sound like an old man on his porch yelling, right? But I think it also depends on the age group that's, like, involved with this, because I think younger adults nowadays are more likely to just be crass about things for no particular reason other than it's just funny to be rude. And I feel like that's always been a thing on the younger scale of things. And it probably just comes with maturity. But, like, I mean, if these are just dumbass kids that, like, think they're fucking, like, they're, she's such a bitch. Like, I remember middle school, right? I'm not that old where I don't remember, like, being in school. And like it was funny, like, oh, Sarah's such a bitch. Like, yeah, oh, I heard she slept with the whole football team, right? And that's just the mindset that I have with that type of shit, where it's like, oh, you just think you're so cool because you learned a swear word, right? So it's like I wouldn't put yourself in any particular position to think you're. I mean, unless you're like instigating beyond what's being said here and like, you know, making more of an issue than what's being said here. I don't think there's any grounds to like be that way, right? Okay. Well, that's unfortunate. I know, Bree, right? That's how the Mac Miller subreddit. Are people like still trying to like are people still trying to like find like what the fuck happened with his death and everything? Because I remember there was a big conspiracy with like Ariana at the time because they recently broke up or some shit. But no, Beauty, no. If someone wants to clip it, it might be too long for a clip. But essentially, I just chalked it up to it's probably dumbass kids that think it's funny to like call people names because they think they're so tough and cool and they have no maturity. Was the crux of it all. But if you want to go back on the VOD like 10 minutes ago, then you'll get the full story. Yeah, no, I mean, that was pretty much the thing about it. It's just like I wouldn't pose yourself as the problem unless you were like instigating more than like, you know, you're discussing here. But I can't imagine it was anything ever worth getting called like names over, right? Like insane deep dives into his lyrics, and I'm like, dude, he was just on a lot of drugs. See, that's what I mean. That's what I fucking mean. And like you can say that with like almost every artist that's like big and famous like that. Cause like I'm not saying they're all on drugs, but I'm saying that's like a big cultural thing. And also, you know, I know it like crushes people's heart to hear it, but like a lot of your favorite artists, like they use like someone else, right? There's like literally a guy in these record label companies that like that's their job is to write songs and then like famous people sing them. So it's like Mac Miller could have maybe not even wrote that. They were like, oh, this is your sad boy album, so you're gonna be like sad boy about this. I don't know, but the problem is some of his views are just ignorant and annoying, and unlike some. Yeah, no, I see, and that's pretty much what I was getting at, Buby, is that it sounds like just dumb kids that think they're so cool and the hot shit, right? They obsess over it. When I know Mac Miller is just like, that's a bar. Yeah, and even if he did write it, I doubt there's any deeper meaning to it, right? All right, let's let's carry on with this because I don't want this story to get cold. You know, I realize that this doesn't make sense to you just yet, which is fine. You're not my problem to solve. But I do hope that one day it clicks that you make peace with the thing you are wrestling.
I'm afraid that I did something really stupid because I don't like myself.
And when you finally see what I am talking about, God, I am getting a little anxious. Don't say anything. Shut the fuck up. Spock, I mean it.
That's why I'm releasing this collection of your work. Is because I haven't been able to find any other way to reach you. I've tried everything. And so a part of me has hope that if I put this compilation out into the world, and if I put my name on it, that maybe enough people will play it so that it'll find its way to you, so that I can tell you that I'm sorry. I know I screwed up. If I apologize to you truly and deeply, will you start making games again? Please, I need to feel okay with myself again, and I always felt okay as long as I had your work to see myself in. I mean, is something wrong with me? Because I know that I did an awful thing, and I'm doing it again right now. Like, I'm showing people your work, but I can't stop myself from doing it. That's how badly I need to feel something again, like I'm an addict. There has to be something wrong with me. Can I apologize? What if I tell you I was wrong? Will that work? Will that fix it? I don't know. I don't think it will.
Bro,
but
you're a
there's nothing else that I can
narcissist,
do.
dude.
Just tell me what you want. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Please, start making games again. Please help me. Please give me some of whatever it is that makes you complete. I want whatever that wholeness is that you just summoned out of nothing and you put into your work. You were complete in some way that I never was. I want to know I want to know how to be a good person. I want to know how not to hate myself. Please. I'm fading, and all I want is to know that I'm going to be okay.
Like gaming! Like fucking gaming! I'm here to find the train.
More love, more.
Okay, but like not in the same context though. And I'm sorry to pause again, right? Because we're at such a peaked moment of the story. But like in some context, I kind of called the Doki angle, right? Like it's not a horror angle, but like the fourth wall angle definitely was called at the beginning here.
Please, more people telling me that I'm good. Always more.
I would have emailed them and just said, fuck you, dude. Like, I saw your dumbass game. Like, I don't fuck with you. Can I just lay down on the tracks? Oh, I didn't even... Okay, I heard the door open, but I didn't see the door open. I don't fuck with Davy Tuesday. Yeah, honest to God. Oh, this is nice. Why is there no windows on the train, though? I feel like trains would be like 50% scarier if there's no windows. Spock, did this come out around the same time?
If someone had told me ahead of time that he just really enjoyed making prison games, maybe I wouldn't have thought he was so desperate. I wouldn't have told so many people that he was depressed. Maybe he just likes making prisons.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Did this come out close to Doki Doki? Like, was this... do you think this may have been inspired, or you think this guy was the OG?
Even now, the disease is telling me to stop. Don't show people what a shitty person you are. They'll hate you.
Damn, Doki Doki copied this. They probably played this game and they're like, wait, but what if we put like anime girls in it? Wait, this game would be really awesome if it had anime girls.
To be driven by other than validation.
And they were spitting for that.
What would that even be? It's strange, but the thought of not being driven by external validation is unthinkable. Like, I actually cannot conceive of what that would be like.
Okay, but now we're making some cool looking games.
What now?
You know, this guy's starting to learn how you make like a cool looking game. I like this. You know, I'd play this.
I think I need to go.
I think you should have gone an hour ago.
I'm sorry, because I know that I said that I would be here and I would walk you through this, but I'm starting to feel like I have a lot of work to do. I have a lot that I need to make up for, and so I'm
Save me the sob story, bro.
just...
Get stepping, little bro.
Okay.
I thought you were leaving. Oh, okay. Okay, that was I'm leaving, okay. Oh, wait, are we finding our way back to the first stage? Yeah, this guy does need a hug or two. Like, maybe a couple years ago. I think we might be past the hug solution. I feel like maybe that was a more of a developmental part of the life that needed that to happen. Womp, womp, womp. Oh. Yay. Up we go. Wonder if it stops, or I wonder if I could just, like, ride it back out. Oh. Wait, this guy also maybe created the backrooms before the backrooms was created. Yeah, this guy doesn't even realize how, like, he was a pioneer on some things. He made, like, 2 influential pieces of media on the internet. Don't do it. Oh, it's the little thing. Stop that. Stop that. See, now we're making a game. But it's funny because you can see, like, where the 3D models, like, go away and it becomes like a texture. This is me leaving you guys behind in the rapture. I'm pure of soul. It's because you don't talk about politics. Nice.
Turn back.
This is probably DMCA. Bro, Coda wasn't even fucking... Coda's not even mentioned. He didn't even mention Coda. Yeah, this is fucked up. This guy's like, I'm sorry, and then doesn't even say thanks to Coda. Wow. You know, I'm a known hater for twists. I think a lot of twists are lazy. And create an irrelevant plot, right? But there was something very natural and not, it just felt natural and it didn't feel abrupt to the story to have that twist happen. And maybe it's because like I had that feeling that it was going in that direction prior, so like I was mentally and emotionally prepared to like receive that information. But it didn't feel harsh. It didn't feel disruptive to the pacing and the storytelling and the overall like just like enjoyment of the game. That was really good. That was really good.